Kitties! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Kira. I'm better known as Afro Kitty on social media. And in this video, I wanted to talk about Clone High. I also wanted to talk about the second season and just some of the changes that they made. I know a lot of people didn't really like the changes, but I'm gonna tell you something. I am used to it because I was also against the changes that they made. But once I got to look at the first season, a lot of things make sense. So let's just get into it. Now, I want to give you a small summary, synopsis of what Clone High is. It's a TV show that I think came out in the early 2000s, 2002 on MTV. The story is about this experiment that happened, like it's a government experiment. This scientist decided to steal a lot of the DNA of very popular historians and decided to clone them. And now these specific clones are actually living and, they're in high school right now. They're teenagers right now. So our main characters of this show is Abraham Lincoln, Joan of Arc. We got Gandhi, at least Gandhi for the first season. Second season, Gandhi's gone. We have JFK, who is the clone of John F. Kennedy. Cleopatra. Well, she's referred to Cleo in the show, but she is the clone of Cleopatra. Now, for the second season, we have, I think, 5 characters included. So we have Frida Kahlo, we have Harriet Tubman, we got Confucius, we have Topher Bus, who, by the way, spoilers, he is actually the clone of Christopher Columbus. Now, the changes that they made is that they changed Cleo's voice actress. Now, Cleo doesn't have a deep voice. Now she has more of like a mean girl tone. I'm not sure what happened with the voice actress. I'm not sure what happened there, but I was very opposed to it at first. But once I started watching the episodes, I actually liked it. I don't mind it at all. Like, I really like her voice. It's just more. It's more it now. You know what I'm saying? It's more it now. I like it. Now, another change that they did was they took out Gandhi's character. Now, Gandhi is not present in the second show. What they did was they briefly mentioned him in the first episode, and there's just clips of him still frozen in that meat locker. They're not going to revive that man. That man's going to stay in that locker until God knows when, right? Until God knows fucking when. Another change that they did was that people were really against. I think it was the character design for Harriet Tubman, because I honestly like Frida Kahlo's design. I think she's my favorite character design so far out of all the new clones, because Confucius has I'm really confused. His character design is really funny looking. It's funky. Like, why is he like this? Like, why is his body this? And he just got little sticks. Why they do him dirty like that? And with Harriet Tubman, I just didn't like the color choices done for her. The design choices were like, the outfit is a little iffy for me. Now, I did see a lot of character designs, like redraws of this particular character on TikTok, and I actually like them. So if you have one favorite one, you can comment down below, because I like seeing people's character design and like their changes. That's something that I like to do as well. I didn't do a character design for her, but I liked what other people chose how to redesign her, and it was really nice. It was a really nice touch, right? Now, I think something good that came out of the series so far, because I haven't seen the new episodes, but so far, was that Varg and JFK are dating. Now, for those who never watched the show, throughout the first season, Joan of Arc was trying so hard to confess her feelings to her best friend, who was Abe. But Abe just spent the entire first season trying to date and actually dating Cleopatra. Now, by the end of the first season, she ends up having intercourse with JFK, and that's how the first season ends. Now, when the second season comes up, JFK actually asks Joan to be her girlfriend, and she says yes, and so during the second season, they just continue dating really nicely. However, I think the latest 2 episodes that I watched, because there's a new one that came out today, or I think yesterday, not sure, where it kind of dawns on me that although everyone likes the pairing, even myself included, we like the pairing, and everybody was rooting for them, they're not compatible. They really aren't. And I'm actually glad that in this particular, in the latest episodes, Joan decides to move forward and be single and leave JFK. Now, people were very disappointed. People were very sad. They were like, why would she break up? And then when you really think about it, I think Joan of Arc as a character, she's very intellectual. I think she deserves a little bit more than just who JFK is as a character. And he's not a bad person. Like, it's not about him being bad, but I don't think he can provide provide something more for her outside of just sex. That's just the reality of it all. Like, he is not that smart, and that's totally fine. But I think that Joan of Arc is actually looking for someone who actually can provide great, like, have a nice conversation, you know. And throughout the episodes, they were just making out all the time. There was no kind of like conversation. And if it was a conversation, he would be like you go, baby, like, I support you. You're right. You're always right. And sometimes you need someone in your life that can actually tell you when you're wrong. And actually, you know, have a decent conversation, just something outside of just sex, because that's the only thing that JFK can provide, and that's the reality of it. That's the only thing he can provide so far. So I'm actually glad that she chose to date herself, like, just be alone, and I actually like that for her character. Now, hopefully, if the series ends, I really don't want her to be paired up with Abe, because I didn't mention this. Abe in season 2 finds that he's in love with Joan. So we have that kind of thing going on where he tries to confess to her, but she's just so focused on JFK. And now that she's single, he's trying so hard to date her, but, you know, I'm not sure it's gonna work out, because, and hopefully she doesn't choose Abe, because just Abe as a character, I'm like, you can have a redemption arc, but I don't think you guys should date, personally. I think she would be best being alone. Like, stay alone, stay single, like, focus on yourself, focus on your goals. Like, now you have friends, now you have a community where you can be supported, and just go along with it. Not to mention, I didn't mention this guy. She should have broken up with JFK long ago, because JFK actually cheated on her, even though it was minimal. Like, I don't know how the levels of cheating that a lot of people would get or like take, but kissing someone else, especially your partner's best friend, that's a no-go for me. Immediately. I don't care if you were drunk. I don't care if anything. If it was just a prank. I don't really care. It was said and done. You know, you cheated. I'm glad that they were able to speak about it with Joan and be very blunt with her. But I don't think she could. I don't think it was okay for her to stay with them. I don't know if it was her trying to keep her sanity, because probably it would be a deal breaker for Joan. Joan was very alone in the first season. She had Gandhi as a friend and Abe as a friend. Now, Abe ain't shit, Gandhi ain't shit. So she was basically alone. And then Cleo made it worse by taunting her all the time. Like, I would be mad too. Now, a good pairing that came out of all this second season is Frida Kahlo and Cleo, which was it was confirmed in like the latest episode, like episode 8. So I was like, yay, here for them, yay. I'm just like so happy for them. I'm happy that they're dating now. Another pairing that we have is Confucius and Harriet Tubman. Now, that was a little random for me, but okay. I'm like, okay, let's see where that goes. Honestly, I'm like, let's see where that goes, right? Now, I didn't mention this, but a lot of people really like Topher, but I think I'm the opposing. I don't think I find anything fun about Topher. I don't know. He's just, It was funny. The last episode I saw, he was actually a funny character. He was like, I am in love with Joan. I don't know, something about whiteness. I don't know what the fuck he said, but it was very funny. I liked Topher in that scene. It was funny. This was funny. He's being messy, and I like that shit. I like messiness sometimes. Not on me, but like, it's funny. Now, I have to say, I think that's all I have to say for Clone High as a series. I kind of ranted a little bit about it, but not too much, actually. I have to watch the latest episode that came out. I think it came out today, if I'm not mistaken. Future me here. Now, let me tell you something. I recently just watched the last 2 episodes from the second season, so let's talk about it really quickly before I end this video. The episode before the season finale. So, that episode in particular, I consider it a filler episode because it just focused on Mr. B, which is the robot that is like the assistant of Scudworth. So yeah, it's just a mini backstory of his life. It was really sweet. It was really nice. It was a little random personally for me, so that's why I consider it a filler episode. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the last episode of this season. Now that one is the one that I want to talk about. Now, first off, this episode is that the students already graduated from senior year. Since most of the students don't know what to do after high school, the principal and the reptilian lady, they decide to create this master plan called Clone College. Now, Clone College is just a really random ass. It's so, like, where's the creativity into that? What the fuck? Anyways, so they say, oh, you don't have to leave your friends and do your own separate things. You can just go to Clone College, right? Go with your friends, attend it, but in order to attend, you have to take this test. So all of them decide to take this test, and this is where Harriet and Confucius have trouble because she's forcing him to do things that he might not want to, but he still obliges, he still goes. And this particular test is not a standard test. Basically, you have to fight to the death, or just like go through this maze, and the first one that arrives to a certain area wins. So Confucius, they break it off instantly in this episode because Harriet wants to pursue college and she wants Confucius to be in it with her. However, like, Confucius is a rich boy. Like, he doesn't have that ambition to go to college. I don't think it'd even be any kind of use for him. So he was just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to go to college. So she was mad and she just broke it off with him in that episode. It was so funny. She's just like, I'm breaking off with you. Bye, bye, bye. And she just goes along with her friends, which is Frida, Cleo, and Joan. And they decide to make a girl group and band to finish the test together, which was really nice. I was like, yay, go girls, go girls, 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 girls. Just is left depressed as fuck. He's sad because he really cares about Harriet, but you know, Harriet was pushing him to do something he didn't want to. So he's just all mopey and shit. But JFK, he's like, you're my brother, so I'm gonna help you. So he helps him and they both enter the maze safely. And on time, by the way. So now the girls and the boys are separated. The boys are together. We have Topher, Abe, JFK, and Confucius together. And then we have the girls, Cleo, Frida, Joan, and Harriet. They're all doing their own tests. They're doing well. And in these particular tests, a lot of things come out. So with Abe and the boys, Abe confesses his feelings to Joan, to JFK. JFK finds out. They have kind of like a bro fight, but it resolves really, really quickly, and they just become buddies after that. So I was like, oh, this is a surprise. I'm very happy because now they're, you know, they're not enemies anymore, right? So I'm just like, yay, they're buddies. And there was a lot of butt jokes as well, which made me laugh because, you know, we all joke about JFK's butt, so it was just a lot of butt jokes. Girls is that there was a situation where Cleo and Joan, they end up falling into a trap. And Frida is the one that catches both of them. But because of the weight of the two girls, Frida ends up dropping Joan and rescuing Cleo. Now, thankfully, Joan rescues herself. She didn't fall down to that cave. But because of that, the girls are just mad at each other. Joan is mad at the girls. She's like, oh, I thought we were girls. I thought we were going to defend ourselves and protect ourselves, or what the fuck. And so she gets mad and she goes lone wolf. She does her own little thing. She tries to go back to JFK or Abe just to go to their team because she didn't want to do the test alone. But the guys mistook her for this little monster that attacked them before, that mimics their voices, that mimics other people's voices. So Abe, he's like, oh, let me test this monster to see if it's actually Joan or just a monster. And he asked her, oh, what's my favorite color? And then Joan's like, it's red. And he's like, that's not my favorite color. You're a monster. And he just says a lot of horrible shit that upsets her. And JFK joins in thinking it's the monster, but it's actually Joan. So she's actually alone. She feels rejected by both groups. She's going through it. And then what she does next, she just becomes this complete, like an actual wolf. She just goes berserk. She starts attacking all of the students, and not actually attacking, but like creating these traps to kind of like, at the end of the day, win. It was just to rule the world, because that was the whole point of Clone High and creating these clones. It was just for them to rule the world and bring chaos, right? So the foster mom of Joan, she's just giving her this speech of how you're gonna rule the world, you're gonna be so amazing, sweetie. And in order to do that, she needs to erase all of the memories of her friends. And she's like, no, I love my friends, don't do this. So she goes against her. She tries to save the day. The foster mom, she does erase like 50% of their brains. And Joan just does this whole spiel, this montage of her giving what the whole second season, the memories that they did and everything like that. And then at the end of the episode, the foster mom is still alive because Scudworth also joins in on Joan and wants to protect the kids. And so they hit her. They fucking beat her ass up. They beat the reptilian lady up. But she comes up at the last minute. She's like, oh, you want to know about Joan? You think Joan's your friend? And then she shows a whole videos of her creating these traps that all of these students were submitted to. Like, they got into the traps. They were thinking, oh, those traps were made for the maze. But no, they were made from Joan. So they all ganged up on her at the end. So they all hated her at the end. And that's how the season ends. And I'm just like, wow. When I first saw it, I was so shocked because I was like, wow, there's a lot of context missing from Joan's perspective, because Joan was mad that her friends kind of ganged up on her in her mind, right? She was just upset that she felt rejected and she felt like nobody cared for her, so she went alone and did everything alone because that's what she thought was best to do. But they didn't show the students that. I think if they did, they would have been more empathetic towards her. But no, they didn't do none of that. None of that. So the season ends with them hating on freaking Joan. And it's so crazy. I was like, what? This is how it ends? Oh my freaking god. But that's how it ends, right? Now, another thing that happened, actually, Harriet and Confucius, they make up at the end. It was really sweet. And JFK actually tells Abe, yeah, if Joan dates someone, I'm sure I'll be happy if it's you. And that's really nice. That was a really nice ending to their feud and their issues. And they also hated on Topher. I was like, yeah, hate on Topher, girl. Fuck Topher. I'm like Topher hater. I don't know. He's funny, but I'm just I don't think he's a silly, goofy little bean. Like, no, I don't think about that. A lot of things came out to light in that episode, and I feel like it was just so wild because since it's just the last episode, they just rammed everything together, and I actually forgot one little detail that appeared in the first episode of the second season. Now, what happened was the new professor of the school, it's not Scudworth. There's another person that's actually the villain of the second season, and actually it's the foster mom to Joan. Now, I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. But the reptilian lady. That's what I'm going to call her in this video. The reptilian lady. Now, that lady, she actually hypnotized some of the students from the school. And I actually forgot that. And yeah, they also used the clones that were... What was it, the word? Hypnotized? The clones that were hypnotized, they used them in the maze. So they were attacking their other students as well. So JFK, Confucius, and Abe, they were fighting off Topher because he was one of the clones that got hypnotized. And he's a little weakling. I was like, how do y'all not... What? And then there's this scene where... where Topher is just like, come on, Abe, giddy up. Sit down, because he was holding him all this time during the maze. I don't know. I was like, oh my god, it was crazy. But the one thing I really like is the dynamic between Cleo and Frida. Oh my god, I forgot. Ooh. Whoa. So I really like the relationship and how their dynamic is with Cleo and Frida. I think it's really cute. I loved it. I was like, oh my god, it's so cute, it's so cute, it's so cute. And I also like the solidarity and the friendship between JFK, Confucius, and Abe. I thought that was very sweet, and it's nice that JFK has friends because I don't think he ever had the chance to develop friendships outside of just like female relationships, and you know, I'm glad that that's happened. So I'm not sure if there's gonna be a third season. I'm not sure what's even gonna focus about. I'm not sure. Maybe like 2 to 3 episodes, but not a lot because they're going to college, so the theme's gonna be different now. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it, and I'll get back to the old me of this video. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. So yeah, let's get back to the old video. But there's nothing else that I have to say in this video. I already said my piece. The only thing I didn't like about Harriet Tubman's design was the clothing, because I can't say much about dyed hair. Hello, I'm someone who dyes my hair all the time, so I would like that. But I think there's some things that I would have personally changed, like the outfit or maybe the eyes, because the eyes look a little weird. They're too squarish for me. I don't know what happened there. Now, I do like Frida. I think Frida is my favorite character of the new clones. And yeah, I still like Joan, but I do hope that in the end she doesn't end up dating Abe. I don't think Abe deserves it. I'm in the Abe hate train. Abe hate train. Abe hate train. I don't know. Like, Abe is a problematic character as well. They're all problematic. And I actually like JFK. It's just, it's unfortunate. I mean, would you rather have those two date each other and just stay like that, knowing how Joan really wanted more than just sex? I mean, think about it. There's more to life than that. And I'm glad that she got the chance to realize it and not stay with this person, but more like leave and choose herself and choose something more for herself. Now, does that mean she needs to date Abe? No. She can stay by herself. She's fine. Now, I will say, I'm tired of films and TV shows pushing that narrative where, oh, we're going to give you a love triangle and she's either going to end up with one of them. And I feel like there's no choice for her to choose herself. Right? It's just either A or B. Him or him. And I'm like, why can't we choose C? Me. I choose me. And I think the same thing happens. The series that I'm thinking about right now is Wednesday, because I know a lot of people, I feel like the way that they wrote Wednesday's character was just so beyond me. The way that they drew her, the way that they portrayed her character and written her, I just feel like it's so out of touch with who Wednesday is naturally, right? And then the whole pushing of two characters, like a love triangle between, oh my god, I was like, garbage. Why don't they make her choose herself and just choose herself? Even the actress said about it. That makes me sick and tired, sick of it. But I think that's all I have to say for this episode, this video. Let me know what you guys think. Who's your favorite character? Would you bring back Gandhi? I personally wouldn't. I think when you look back at it, he was very questionable character. Very questionable. He was funny. There were funny moments, but overall, it was the best choice they could have made. And yeah, who do you really want to see Joan of Arc dating Abe at the end of the series? Or do you think it's best for her to just choose herself and just continue being who she is as a person? I think that's it for this video. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.